जय कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी।
ഇനി പ്രഭു പാടിക്കോ, ഞാൻ പാടാം. ഹരേ കൃഷ്ണ.
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा
ഹരേ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ കൃഷ്ണ 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 ഹരേ 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 രാമ 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 ഹരേ ഹരേ.
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा
कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमाई जय सुदर्शना.
जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमयी जय सुदर्शना.
जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमाई जय सुदर्शना.
जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमयी जय सुदर्शना.
जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे.
राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे.
जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे.
राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे.
जय राधा मदन मोहन राधे.
राधा मदन मोहन राधे.
जय राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे.
राधे जय राधे जय राधे जय श्री राधे.
जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय.
गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय.
निताय गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jai Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Ya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Chapter 13, the most confidential knowledge. Text 13, 14 and 15. We read text 13 now. Mahamanastu kaunte, Mahamanastu mam partha, Devim prakritimashritaha, Vajandyananya manaso, Nyatva bhudadimavyayam. Mahamanastu mam partha, Devim prakritimashritaha, Vajandyananya manaso, Nyatva bhudadimavyayam. Mahamanastu mam partha Devim prakritimashritaha bhajandi ananya manaso nyatva bhudadimavyayam. Okay, can read the verse.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mahamanastu Mampartha Devim Pragritimasridaha Bhajanti Ananya Manaso Nyatva Bhudadimavyayam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Translation: O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as a Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Verse 14. Satadam kirtayando mam yadandascha dridavridaha namasyanjasta mam bhaktya nityayukta upasade. Satadam kirtayando mam yadandascha dridavridaha namasyandyascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasade. Sadadam kirtayando mam yadandascha dridavridaha namasyandascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasade. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
Sadadam kirtayendo mam yadandascha dridavridaha namasyandascha mam bhaktya nityayukta ubasade. Hare Krishna.
Right. Hare Krishna. Translation: always chanting my glories, enduring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Text 15. Jnana yajnena chapare chapanye yajando mam upasade egatvena prithaktvena bahudha vishado mukham. Jnana yajnena chapanye yajando mam upasade egatvena prithaktvena bahudha vishado mukham. Jnana yajnena chapyanye yajando mam upasade egatvena prithaktvena bahudha vishwato mukham. Yes. Krima, I can read that. You are mute now.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Again you are mute.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can you read the verse? Verse 15.
ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्येन यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन प्रदत्तेन बहुधा विश्वतोमुखम्.
Right. Others who are engaged in the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, diverse in many, and in the universal form. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmelidam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadadi Swapadantigam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudavadagamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadhutam Parijana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvidam Sam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagalpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Taptakanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubescha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Mahamanastu mam partha Devim prakritimasridaha Bhajanyananya manaso Jnatva bhudadimavyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls under protection of the divine nature, they are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. So here Krishna is describing the nature and traits of pure devotee. In the previous verses, that is verse 11 and 12, here described non-believers who belittle Krishna, who deride Krishna, because they do not accept Krishna, who is now appearing in the form of human, in the human form, as a Supreme Personality. They are just not able to believe this, the words of Krishna, when he is describing his opulence and greatness in verses 6 to 10. How he is all-pervading, how he is maintaining everything, how he is directing all the demigods to carry on with the job of maintenance, how is create destruction taking place, and how we living entities are hopelessly and helplessly trapped in this cycle. We cannot do anything about this, but to accept again and again different forms, to continue our journey, to continue our suffering in this material world. And Krishna also says that he is monitoring everything. Everything is under his surveillance only. So having said this, he said that there are people who are not believing this. They avajanandi mamudha, they derive Krishna because they are not aware of his the transcendental nature, the supreme nature, that his form, which though appearing to be human, is not normal human-like forms, which is material, which is seen in the material universe, in this material world. Not only the human beings, but all the 84 lakh species, all the species are having material bodies which are perishable, which are always changing, which are temporary. But Krishna, when he appears in his internal potency. So his form, his body is not different from his self. So there is no difference between Krishna's body, Krishna's mind, and Krishna's soul. Everything is the same. This is very difficult for people who have no faith in Krishna to comprehend. Although they may be good scholars, although they may be very good Vedic recitals, masters in Upanishads, Vedanta Sutra, but still they fail to understand the science of Krishna, the true nature of Krishna, the transcendental nature of Krishna. When he says, Param Bhavam Ajanando, Mam Bhuta Maheshwaram, actually he is the Lord of all beings. So, this conception of Krishna is beyond their understanding. This science of Krishna is beyond their conception. So they cannot imagine a form like that of human being can simultaneously control the infinite and the finite. Infinite and the finite. He is a controller of the material world universes. He is a controller of the spiritual universes. Everything is under his control, and everybody is under his control, including the Vishnu forms, under his command only. But those who are pure devotees, they can very easily accept whatever Krishna has said. Like Arjuna says, Sarvamedam Ridam Manni Yanmam Vadasi Keshava. Whatever you accept, whatever you tell me, Krishna, I accept wholeheartedly, completely. And not that I believe some part of it and don't believe the other, some other part. No. Whatever you said, that I accept completely. But those who are not able to do that, who have doubts, persistent doubts, continuous doubts about Krishna, all their ventures, all their endeavors, all their hopes, everything is defeated. Mogasha mogakarmano, mogajnana vichetasa, rachasim asurim chaiva pragadim mohinim sudha. So all the hopes are defeated. So their destiny is certainly to take birth, after birth, in the species of atheistic and demonic life, Dakshasim Asurim Chaiva. And perpetually their real knowledge will remain under delusion. And gradually they'll regress to the darkest region of creation. So Krishna is giving us a big warning that if you doubt Krishna, if you, based on that doubt, you deride the position of Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead, what is in store for you is very clear about this. that you will definitely recede down to the lowest, darkest region of the universe, namely the lowest species, lowest forms, like the aquatics or reptiles. These are the lowest forms. Or we may be forced to go down to the darkest universe, like Padala, Sutra Patala, and all those areas. But completely different are those who have immense faith in Krishna. We can say the Uttamadhigaris, Shastra Yukti Nupana, Dhrida Vishwasa. So they are categorized as Mahatmana. Why Mahatmana? Mahamanastumam Pragriti, Devim Pragnashidaha. They are always dependent on Krishna's internal nature. They are called Mahatmana. They are different from others who are not Mahamanas, ordinary human beings. Ordinary human beings are always engrossed in making plans for a comfortable 4-point formula which is described in Hidopanishad. Ahara Nidra Bhaya Maituna. These are the 4 areas which we are all trying to make grand plans, trying to enjoy: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So the more luxuriously we are able to live, more luxuriously we are able to eat nicely, sleep in big bungalows, getting married to beautiful ladies and women, and trying to enjoy with women, and trying to protect their wealth in many ways, they are considered a success in the life. The more they are able to do this, the more the society will say, oh, he's a great man. But he is not actually great. Mahatma is not me, because this kind of eating, sleeping, mating, defending are available in all forms of life, very automatic, very easily, without any effort. So Srimad Bhagavatam, the 11th canto, 9th chapter, verse 29, it says very clearly, Labha sudullabham idam bahusam bhavante Manusham arthadam aniham anityam abhihadira Turnam yadeda napade anumrutyavan nishesaya vishaya kalu sarvadasya Labdva sudurlabham idam bahusambhavante bahusambhava ante. Bahusambhava means many births. Ante, at the end of many births, labdva, you are getting sudurlabham, very rare, what? Manushim, the form of human being. So a human form is supposed to be very rare. It is received after so many births. In what do you call, what is the Darwin theory, is going around in so many forms. Ultimately, you get the Manushim form, although it is anityam, though this form is also temporary, it is arthadam. It is full of great value. In this material world, apiha, anityam apiha, Manushim janam arthadam. Manushim janmam, the form of the human form, is very valuable, and it is received after many births. This the intelligent person knows. Dhira. Dhira means one who is very sober, one who understands perfectly things as they are. He is called Dhira. And what is doing? Turnam yadeda napadet anumrutyavan. So this temporary body is also subject to destruction. And before this body is being perished, before it get end, Tunam yade napadit anumritim yavan nishesaya, nishesaya, for ultimate liberation. So we have to try for ultimate liberation. In Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter also, this is quoted, which is quoted in Nectar of Instruction also. In Nectar of Instruction quotes a verse from Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, verse 23. Shakno hideva yasodum prak sharira vimokshna kama krodhol bhavam vegam sayukta sasukhi naraha. Shaknodi iheva yasodum. If you are able to, sodum means what? Tolerate. If you can tolerate what? Kama krodhol bhavam vegam. Vegam means desires. Urges due to lust and anger. If you are able to tolerate this, when prak sharira vimokshana, before the body, before giving up this body, before this body is destroyed, if you are able to control the urges of lust and karma and anger, sayukta sasukhi nara. He is a yogi and he is happy in this world. So same, Srimad Bhagavatam also says, Nishesaya turnam yadeda na padit anumrityavan nishesayaya. If you are able to do that, because Vishaya khalu sarvadasyat. Vishaya means sense objects. Khalu sarvadasyat. Everywhere I say, even the hog, stool eating hog, they're able to do this. Monkeys, if you go to Vrindavan, monkeys can say very easily they are eating. They have absolutely no problem for them to eat. Something's always provided by nature. Everything they every time they are not deprived of any food. And they're able to sleep nicely under trees, in the rocks. And they're always able to mate with female monkeys always. And they are also able to protect themselves. So this ahara, nidra, bhaya, maituna, which we consider to be most valuable, it's most the cherished goal, is not sought after great mind by Mahatmana. Mahatmana, they are not interested in this. Mahatmanas are not interested in such kind of rubbish, stupidities, nonsensical activities. They are not interested at all. They are always interested, and they are always interested what? Bhajan the ananya manaso. They're only interested. The only interest is to continuously bhajadi. Worship Krishna. Worship Krishna in complete understanding Krishna. Nyatva Bhudadi Mavyayam. Understanding Krishna, his original personality, Godhead, is inexhaustible. He is a master of creation. He is a master of human, all the species. Understanding Krishna as he is, then is worshipping Krishna as he is. That is the symptom of a Mahatma. So that happens when one is completely surrendered to Krishna. Bhuvanam janmanam mande jnanavam mam pravadyade. Vasudeva sarvamedi mahatma sudulabha. So he does not divert attention anything outside Krishna. He is not at all interested in associating with those people who are averse to Krishna, not interested in Krishna. He is only interested in associating with people who are always talking about Krishna. So that kind of association, these are association Mahatmas. So one Mahatma, like Shad Goswamis, they're always discussing about Krishna. Our Guru Parambara, our Maharajas, Acharyas, they have no other business than to discuss about Krishna. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj said that in the material world, you have so many magazines, so many newspapers, so many journals talking about rubbish things, silly things. Then how many volumes and volumes and volumes of writings, periodicals, books, journals should be written about Krishna. That's why Acharyas are writing so many books about Krishna. But Krishna is inexhaustible. Thousands and thousands of Vaishnava Acharyas have glorified Krishna through their writings, through their poems, through their verses. But still, again, many other people are writing about Krishna. So Krishna, that's why he's called inexhaustible, Avyayam. Krishna is always Avyaya. So how they are worshipping Krishna? Sadaram kirtayando mam yadandascha dridavadaha namasyandischa mam bhaktya nityayukta upasade. They always satatam. "24 hours interested in glorifying Krishna." This Bhagavad Gita reading is also a kirtana only. Everything you talk about Krishna, whether it's Sankirtana, whether it's glorification of choice, poetries or verses, or when you're cooking for Krishna, when you're cleaning for Krishna, when you're dressing for Krishna, when you're distributing Krishna's literature, everything is kirtana. So 24 hours they are engaged in glorifying Krishna. So they are pole apart from poor souls. This is Mahatmana means great soul, Mahatmana, great soul. Duratmana means poor souls or our souls, who doesn't have purity, who doesn't have enlightenment. They are opposite to that. So Krishna says, Satadam kirtayando mam. So the 9 forms of kirta, navadha, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Archanam, Bandanam, Dasim, Sakyam, Atnivedanam, Idi Pumsarvida, Bhaktisya Navalakshana, Kriyeda Adhya Bhagavadim, Kriyeda Adha Bhagavadim. So Vishnu Smarana, Vishnu, but that means Kirtana should be directed directly to Krishna only, not to anyone else. Sataram Kirtayendo Mam, not anyone else, not any, you cannot glorify each and anybody, anyone, everyone. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. So these are all meant for glorifying, is only meant for Krishna only. Nobody else should be glorified. Only Krishna and his associates and his devotees are subject of glorification. No one else is a subject of glorification. So you have to hear and chant about the Supreme Lord. So if you perform some musical performances glorifying some of your friends or some of the leaders, this is not kirtana. You have so many, find that in some birthday parties or some, when your friend is achieving some meritorious reward, like passing an exercise examination with rank, or achieving some good result, or getting out a good job, or achieving something in the athletic field, or the arts and cultural activities, something like that. Some activities which considered, some achievements which are considered to be great in the mundane eyes. Such people are glorified, and some politicians are also glorified. But according to Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, this is not correct. Sadan kirtayendo mam eva. Only Krishna is a subject matter, object of all worship. One who has dedicated his life to the service of Krishna through these 9 methods should be understood to be the most learned person, for he has acquired complete knowledge. So the Mahatma is always engaged in glorifying Krishna only. So not only he is glorifying Krishna himself, he's always thinking of how people will take it, how people will take this Krishna consciousness, this kirtanai of Krishna, always is called Krishna consciousness. Is always thinking seriously about how people are engaged, able to take this up. So we are all put in this material world, especially in this yuga, they are very averse to Krishna. Not only in this yuga, actually in all yugas. We say Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga. In every yuga, people are not averse to Krishna, because we are all trapped here. The fact that we are in this material world is a proof that though the yugas, there may be some differences in some yugas, all yugas in one way is the same, because it is happening in this material world only, and people are generally averse to Krishna. You may say that Satya Yuga is better, Treta Yuga is better, Dwapara Yuga is better. It's like a prison house. In prison house, you may have some kind ABC types of categorization. C class prison, in prison, C class prison, B class prison, A class prison. Some facilities offered, no facilities offered in C class prison. Some facilities are offered in B class prison, and some other facility, better facilities are offered in A class prison. Ultimately, it's prison only. So Mahatmas, they know very clearly that people are here, they're all suffering in this material world, and they're trying to relieve this suffering by connecting them to Krishna. This is a job of Mahatma. This is a job of a noble-minded person. So this Mahatma, they always yadandascha dridavada, they always trying their best how to take out these people from this prison and deliver them back to Godhead. Every noble person mind, like our Acharya, Ramanacharya, Madhvacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, at the age of 24, he left his wife, who was only 16 years, and his mother, about 75 years old. He didn't care what will happen to them in his absence, who will look after them. Because he has so much compassion for these fallen souls, that somehow or other he wanted them. He wanted to be connected to Krishna, and he wanted them to come out of these miseries and achieve their original status of being a servant to Krishna. So, idandascha namasyandascha mam bhaktiya. Then he is paying obeisances bhaktiya, with devotion, with no ulterior motive. With no ulterior motive, bhakti means it is only meant for the satisfaction of Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna. It should not have any ulterior motive. In Namaparada, you can say 10 offenses. One offense is that rendering Nama or rendering Bhakti with an ulterior motive, with a material purpose. With an ulterior motive, if you are rendering devotional service, that is considered to be an offense. It's an aparadha. The devotee offers his namaskaras, his obeisances to Krishna with tremendous love. With love only. Not that he wants to get something out of Krishna for his material satisfaction or satisfaction of his material desires. No. So God, Krishna is always like that. He's always thinking about his devotees. He's not thinking about anyone else. His heart is always with his devotees. And he takes a pure devotee takes pleasure in glorifying Lord, and Lord also takes pleasure in thinking about his devotees. So this mutual exchange, this affection, this love between devotees and Krishna. Devotional service for some temporary purpose, like you have this, the 4 types of devotees in Srimad Bhagavatam. We are discussing about Aditi now. She is, I can say, Artha, in distress because her sons have lost their position. They are suffering. So she wants their sons to get back their position. But she is approaching Krishna. So ultimately, she is a Artha. It means because in rendering devotion service to Krishna, there is an ulterior motive. The motive is not satisfaction of Krishna. Motive is not rendering pleasure to Krishna, but to get some benefits, some boons. So that is not a pure devotion. But still, they are devotees. They are also to be glorified because at least after all, they are surrendering to Krishna only, the right person to surrender. At least they understood that whatever they want can be achieved only through Krishna only. So at least they have that understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we have to, whatever our desires are there, are easily awarded or easily attained by worshipping Krishna only. So in that aspect, there are also, but otherwise, in ISKCON, we don't encourage this kind of activities, this kind of bhakti. Our only interest is to give pleasure to Krishna. So, yada namasindasya mamekta nitya yukta upasade, nitya yukta, always. It's not that you attain something and then you stop this activity. Like this jnanis, they glorify Krishna. They also, next chapter, next verse, you can say, they also upasade, they also worship Krishna in their own way. And once they attain their goal, they stop this activity. But Vaishnavas are not like that. Even after attaining the liberation, they continuously render devotional service, nitya yukta. The state of bondage and state of liberation do not make any difference to Vaishnava. In state of bondage also you are worshipping Krishna, and in state of liberation also you are worshipping Krishna. You're not stopping this. In case of other processes, in state of bondage, they worship Krishna, and in the state of liberation, they forget Krishna. But Vaishnava, the Mahatmas are not like that. So they are always Satatam Kirtayando Yadandascha Dilavrada Namasyandascha Mam Bhaktya Nitya Yukta Upasat. After talking about the Mahatmas, Krishna now speak about other types of devotees who are also worshipping Krishna in their own way. Jnana yajna chapanye. So by cultivating knowledge, they worship the Krishna as second to none. The ulterior purpose is to be one with Krishna. They think that the ultimate goal is to be one with Krishna. They call it Sayuja Mukti, wanting to merging into his existence, losing their existence, their individuality. So that is their ultimate motive. But ultimately, why they are considered in the as per verse, they are not considered as Mahatma. They can say that Jnana Yajna Chapi Anye. Anye is non other than these Mahatmas. Mahatmas have all been described as Nitya Yukta, as Nitya Yukta Vasade, Yadandascha. All those traits of Mahatma have been described fully. Then Anye means those who are not that great Mahatmas. They are also worshipping Krishna in their own way. Avishuddha Vidya sometimes. But at least they understand that they are not his bodies. To that extent, they can also be considered as Mahatma. So the Vaishnava Acharyas are very liberal. They also, there are other types of Mahatmas also. They say there are other types of Mahatmas also. But their understanding is that ultimately, one is ending as Krishna. There's no ultimate difference between Krishna and the Jiva. It's one and the same. So that kind of understanding, that kind of philosophy they have. And based on that philosophy, they do their worship. But then you can understand that this worship is temporary also. Once this goal is achieved, this worship is stopped. So that means that bhakti, or the kind of process which they are engaged in, is not eternal. It's temporary only. Why? Bhakti is eternal. In the second verse, which is very clearly says, Avyayam. Rajavidya, Rajaguhyam, Pavitram idamuttamam. Pratyachavagamam dharmyam susugam kartum avyayam. But for these people, this process is not avyayam. Krishna is avyaya, and the process to understand Krishna is avyaya. But for this, it's not avyaya. And the other types are egatvena, prudaktvena, bahuda vishudomukam. Some other types of devotees, some other people are transcendentalists. They worship the devas, the Surya, Chandra, Soma, Indra, Varuna. All those they take and they consider them to be non-different from Vishnu. And they feel that if they worship this Vishnu or these forms of Vishnu, it's equal to worshipping Krishna. And some others, Bahuda Vishadomukham, they take the totality of this creation, the totality, and they worship the totality, the Purusha Suktam, which is coming Purusha Suktam, all this Visharupam. Visharupam, you feel the totality of creation, the totality of Bhudas. So this totality is worship. That's where Vishadomukham, Yajado Vishadomukham. So these are also other types of devotees, other than these Mahatmas. But we can easily understand by studying Bhagavad Gita very minutely, very scrupulously. We can understand this, that the Mahatmas are devotees only, Mahatmas are Vaishnavas only. Mahatmas are pure devotees of Krishna, and their only business is to render devotional service for the pleasure of Krishna. And that's why they are called real Mahatmas. Others are not really Mahatmas, but they are also transcendentalists, and they try to attain their goals by worshipping Krishna as per their understanding. This is sum and substance of these three verses. So thank you very much. So actually you can render Narasimha Kirtan.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Namaste Narasimhaya Prahlaya Hiranyakashe Purvakshaha Chilankalaya Ido Narsimha Parado Narsimha Yato Yato Yami Tado Narsimha Bahir Narsimho Bahe Narsimho Narasimha Manim Sharanam Prabhade Avakara Kamalavare Raga Almuda Sringara Dalita Hiranyakasipu Tanubhranga Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jagadisha Hari Jagadisha Hari Jagadisha Hari Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Ugram Viram Mahavishnu Jagannathanam
Narasimham Vishnam Bhadram Mrityopatim Nami Srinasima Jai Narasimha Jai Jai Shri Narasimha Praladeshta Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Om Bhagavate Vyam Purushaya Mahatmane Hare Alvasimhaya Brahmani Mahatmane Narasimdev Bhagwan ki
Jai
Vaishnava Bhakti Shesh Pradha Maharaj ki
Jai
Jai Gaur Premanande
Jai
Vancha Kalpadruvescha
Prabhu Prabha Sindhu Evaja Parinanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Ananda Kodi
Nandagori
Vaishnavebhyo
Srila
Jai
Prabhupada
Jai
ki
Jai
Gaur Premanande.